What's up guys, Stephanie with AmericanMuscle.com, and this is my review of the Ford Racing by Borla Touring Catback exhaust fitting your 2015 and up EcoBoost Mustang. This catback from Ford Racing is going to be for the S550 EcoBoost owners out there that are looking for a high quality catback that offers a low growl. This is a perfect option for the guys that are not looking for anything too loud and just want something mild that's going to open up some exhaust flow and give you a little bit better sound than the factory exhaust. This catback is going to eliminate the factory resonator and replace it with just a Y pipe that leads down to the touring mufflers. So Ford Racing has a few options for the EcoBoost Mustang. You have the option of the touring catback, which is this one right here, or the sport catback, and the difference is going to be in the sound. The touring catback is quieter than the sport catback, and I'm going to go ahead and say that the touring catback is quieter and more mild than a lot of the other options on the site, just to give you a little overview here. Like I mentioned, and just like with the sport catback, this catback is going to eliminate the factory resonator and replace it with a standard Y pipe. Removing this resonator is going to have a bunch of performance benefits. You're looking at sound and power improvements and even some weight benefits. This catback is 30 pounds lighter than the factory catback is, and that's just a nice little bonus that you get from swapping over to this system. Unlike some of the other EcoBoost catback options out there, this system actually bumps up the size of the piping. You'll be going from a 2¼ inch system to a 2½ inch system, and you're also looking at a full stainless steel mandrel bent catback. This system right here has 4-inch chrome stainless steel tips, but Ford Racing also has a version of this same catback that ends in painted black stainless steel tips. Both options will have the Ford Racing logo embossed on the tips, so you won't be losing anything one way or the other. But just a heads up that the black tip version is going to cost a little bit more than the polished version will. And as usual, stainless steel is always a great option for the cars that see all different types of road conditions, since it's going to offer corrosion resistance. So I've been saying this, but the main component of the catback is going to be the mufflers, and in this case, we're looking at a set of chambered touring mufflers. So the Y pipe's going to open up exhaust flow for the touring mufflers, which are known for a mild growl, which you heard earlier in the sound clips. The combination of the Y pipe and the touring mufflers creates more of a raw tone than the stock exhaust does, and a sound that isn't too loud and also doesn't have any drone at highway speeds. At idle, you can hear that this catback is deeper than the factory exhaust, but once you start climbing the RPMs, I think the deepness of the tone goes away. Now this isn't a throaty tone like the sport catback has, but more of a toned down sound instead. I'd still say though that the touring mufflers give more of a raw sound like the sport mufflers do when you compare it to other options that focus more on a tuned sound. This catback is going to be one of the quietest options available for the EcoBoost, so there isn't going to be a lot of raspiness or volume or popping with this system. What you do end up with, however, is more of a turbo 4-cylinder sound, except in a more reserved way. One thing I did notice about this catback is that you don't get as much of the turbo noise as I have heard with other options that are out there. You can hear some spoiling in there in the lower RPMs, but that's it. So if the turbo noise is something that you're really after, then there are some other options on the site that really open up a lot of that noise. Now with all of that being said, you have to keep in mind that this is a 4-cylinder turbo car. It's not going to sound like a V8. So if you're looking for something to make your EcoBoost sound like a V8, you're going to be looking for a while. There are other options that'll get more of that clean, deep type of sound that's relatable to the type of sound that you can get from a V8. So if that's what you're looking for, then there are some other options that might suit you better. With this being a quieter catback for those guys that are looking for a little bit more than the stock sound, but that really just want to open up the exhaust flow, that leads to another nice thing about this catback, and that's the fact that there's no interior drone, not even at cruising speed. A quieter catback like this one here doesn't usually have a lot of drone, and that's definitely not something that you have to worry about here with this catback. Overall, if you're looking for loud, this system is not for you. This is a quiet and tame system that does give a powerful sound, but it does it through a deep growl instead of a loud roar. This is one of the quietest aftermarket options, if not the quietest, and so I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 on the loudness scale. With catbacks, it really all depends on what you're looking for, and luckily there are quite a few options out there. Like I just said, there are a handful of different options when it comes to catbacks for the S550 EcoBoost at this point in time, and this means different types of sound as well as different price ranges. You've got your choice of high-end offerings as well as choices for those that do not want to spend that much, and Ford Racing is going to be one of the high-end offerings. Ford Racing is legendary for its quality, so if that's something you're concerned with, you're shopping in the right place. We did talk about two catbacks, one with black tips and one with polished tips, and they're going to have a slight price difference, but we're only talking by $50. The chrome tip option is going to be on the less expensive side, but the black tip option is going to be more expensive, which is typical. Either way, you're looking at spending between $1,330 and $1,380 depending on which version of this catback you choose to go with, which is the same price range as a sport catback, so Ford Racing is giving you the option to pick your preferred sound here. When it comes to the install, you're going to be looking at an easy 1 out of 3 wrenches on the scale when we look at difficulty. This is considered a direct bolt-on item, so you won't need to cut anything or modify anything to get it installed. All that you're really going to need is a socket set, and a lift would certainly make things easier, but the job can be done on stands as well. You're going to be removing the exhaust from the resonator back, and an extra set of hands can make things easier for you here. You'll be moving over your hangers to the new catback, so I'd recommend taking them off with the factory exhaust when you drop that. It'll only make the swap a little easier. The only other thing you'll reuse is the front clamp off of the resonator for the front of the new catback. The whole catback can be dropped as one big piece, which is why an extra set of hands can really help here. And when you go to install your new setup, it'll probably be easiest to start from the front and move back. So install the Y mid-pipe area first, then the intermediate pipes and the muffler assemblies, and I'd leave everything loose until you have it all lined up and then tighten it down. The catback does come with 4 new clamps, so you don't have to worry about picking those up, and you can figure on spending about an hour or 2 from start to finish to get all of this done. Overall, the Ford Racing by Borla Touring Catback is going to replace the factory resonator with a Y pipe, and it will ultimately drop some weight and open up both exhaust flow and power. This catback's also a step up to a 2.5-inch catback that comes complete and is a direct bolt-on install that requires no cutting. You can check this catback out online some more for yourself, and for all things Mustang, keep it right here at AmericanMuscle.com.